This airplane just crashed at 2-3.
Life Flight 1 medevac, just so you are, there's people outside walking around the aircraft there.
Yeah, we've got it. The aircraft there's upside down and burning.
Videos online show passengers crawling out of the upside-down plane onto the tarmac. The airport said in a statement, Toronto Pearson is aware of an incident upon landing involving a Delta Airlines plane arriving from Minneapolis. Emergency teams are responding. All passengers and crews are accounted for. Delta also acknowledged the crash, saying in a statement that it is aware of reports of Endeavour Flight 4819 operating from Minneapolis-St. Paul to Toronto Pearson International Airport as involved in an incident.
I've just come over from our Emergency Operations Center, and I'm here to give you a statement on what events transpired here today at Toronto Pearson. First and foremost, there was no loss of life, and this is in due part to our heroic and trained professionals, our first responders at the airport. So the facts of the matter around this event that happened at approximately 2:30 p.m. is Delta Airlines Flight 4819 from Minneapolis to Toronto, operated by subsidiary Endeavour Air, was involved in a single aircraft accident upon landing at Toronto Pearson. The plane was carrying 4 crew and 76 passengers, among them 22 Canadians. The other passengers were multinational. Airport emergency workers mounted a textbook response, reaching the site within minutes and quickly evacuating the passengers. We stood up our Emergency Operations Center with Delta Airlines and representatives from fire, police, paramedics, security, and our federal agency partners. Again, there were no fatalities. 17 injured passengers were quickly taken to local area hospitals. At this time, we do not know of any of those passengers having critical injuries. We immediately halted further arrivals and departures on our remaining 3 runways. Those runways were reopened at approximately 5 p.m. The other runways are remaining to serve the investigation, which will be carrying forward for the rest of tonight and into the next several days. These 2 runways will remain closed while the investigation takes place. Again, we are very grateful that there was no loss of life and relatively minor injuries. We are very focused on the care and the concern and the passengers and the crew, some of whom have already been reunified with their friends and their families. Others we have in a comfortable place right here at the airport in an environment where they're getting a lot of care and support from my staff. Delta Airlines is also continuing to provide customer care and information for passengers. In closing, no airport CEO wants to have these type of press conferences, but this is exactly what our emergency, our operations, and our first responder partners are all practiced and trained for. And again, this outcome is in due part to their heroic work, and I thank them profusely. Our thoughts and prayers are with all. We will be providing more information as it becomes available. We do expect that there will be some operational impact and some delays at the airport over the next few days while the 2 runways remain closed for the investigation. And we will be sharing information periodically. For those traveling, continue to look at our website and be in touch with your respective carrier as well. Thank you for your time today.
The cause of the crash is still under investigation and being led by the Transportation Safety Board. It's not appropriate for us to comment at this time. However, I can speak to you about our Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Services response. 3 of our stations in the airport operating area responded with 8 aircraft fire and rescue apparatus, plus Mississauga Fire and Emergency Services quickly responded with 6 engines, 2 district chiefs, a command vehicle, and a tanker. Peel Regional Paramedic Services responded with 18 paramedic units. Upon arrival, my team conducted fire suppression. Self-evacuation was already taking place. At this time, we believe all our emergency response went as planned. We will, however, be conducting a review. This is an active investigation. It's very early on, It's really important that we do not speculate. What we can say is the runway was dry and there was no crosswind conditions. We also want to give an update. We can now confirm that 18 injured passengers have been transported to the local area hospitals. We had one additional passenger recently transported to a hospital. We will all be supporting the ongoing investigation by the Transportation Safety Board. Thank you to our teams at Mississauga Fire and Emergency Services, Peel Police, and Peel Regional Paramedic Services, and all other responders that responded on the scene.
As we made our descent and made touchdown, it was just a very forceful event where all of a sudden everything just kind of went sideways. And then next thing I know is kind of a blink and I'm upside down, still strapped in. 1 minute you're landing, kind of waiting to see your friends and your people, and the next minute you're physically upside down and just really turned around. But it sounded, I mean, it was just cement and metal, you know. What I saw was everyone on that plane suddenly became very close in terms of how to help one another, how to console one another, and that was powerful. But yeah, there was definite, what now? Who's leading? How do we find ourselves away from this? I think there was paramedic of help, move, and then as a father, I saw this boy and mom who were just, you know, everyone seemed, not oddly calm, but everyone seemed like they were there to make sure we helped each other and, you know, moved out of harm's way. The most powerful part of today was there was just people, no countries, no nothing. It was just people together helping each other.